listening to In Between the Lines podcast with Shamar and Jay. Nothing is out of bounds.
Yo, it's the In Between the Lines podcast. I'm Shamar. That's Jay. You are the Pod Squad. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe. We back with another one, Jay.
People, we back.
There's a lot of stuff going on, man.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of stuff on my mind, a lot of stuff on your mind. We'll get right to it.
All right, man. Showtime. Mr. Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Super Bowl champion. You can give him some juice for that.
My QB.
You can give him some juice for that.
My QB.
All right. No need to claim shit.
It's my QB.
No need to be claiming
Quarterback.
nothing.
Ain't that what?
Nigga, if you gonna claim somebody,
That's my quarterback.
tax season over. Don't claim nobody. This has really been a good conversation, back and forth. I'm not taking no sides, but here's the argument. You tell me what you think. 'Cause I know you're a big Jalen Hurts fan, and 10 times that, an Eagles fan.
Absolutely.
Mr. Cam Newton says his opinion that Jalen Hurts is a successful quarterback and a Super Bowl winning quarterback because of the pieces that he have around him at the wide receiver position, the offensive line, Mr. Saquon Barkley. I got to put a Mr. when I say Saquon Barkley name because he was just dominant last year. And that defense. So, and the question I have for you as an Eagle fan, do you really think that Jalen Hurts can carry the Eagles to a Super Bowl without possibly a Saquon Barkley or a major injury to A.J. Brown?
Absolutely. But first, before I even ask that, let me just ask you a question. Who do you think is a better quarterback in their career? Cam Newton or Jalen Hurts?
I got to give Jalen more time. If you
Talk about right now.
and I'm asking, like, what are you looking at? Wins or, yards or Super Bowls? Like, what's your criteria?
Just a better quarterback.
This ain't hate, bro, but I'm going to say Cam Newton. And
Okay.
can I tell you why?
Sure.
And this is not hate. It's from watching the game for as long as I have.
Okay.
Cam Newton will be the reason Carolina will win or lose. That's a fact.
Okay.
And I'm saying that because he didn't have a lot of talent around him. Not only was he a former NFL MVP, but he did take the Carolina Panthers to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And they lost, let me be clear. But Cam Newton is a playmaker. And what I mean by playmaker, again, he's the reason they're going to win and lose because of the plays that he makes. Now, Jalen Hurts, in my opinion, is a great game manager because of the pieces he have around him. Because if all that fails with his arm, he can always turn around and give it to Saquon Barkley, who's a game changer, who can affect the game better than Jalen Hurts when we talk about talent.
Okay.
And
I'm listening.
And that's a question for you. From a talent level, who has more, Jalen Hurts or Saquon Barkley? Because if you can determine either one, that would be the reason why they're Super Bowl champions. Because Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl, he won that game for the Eagles. And I'll say that was one game he needed to win for the Eagles because the focus was on Saquon Barkley and the Kansas City Chiefs at that time trying to stop and contain Saquon Barkley from taking over the game. Like he damn near took over every game last season. So I understand Kansas City philosophy going into that game, make Jalen Hurts beat them, and Jalen Hurts perform. He beat them. Not only beat them, he dominated the Chiefs defense and put on a hell of a show.
All right, so you want me to work backwards or you want me to work forward? I can go backwards from the Super Bowl on back, or I can go forward from what you asked the question. You call it.
Man, I say run with it.
Okay, so number one, Mr. Cam Newton. First off, let's get this out the way because people always say this. Oh, you ain't never played the game, so you can't judge the game. That's bullshit. People know the game. Like you can have an eye test. You don't have to have played to understand the game. Now you might have to have played to understand the nuances that go inside of play calling and things of that nature. But when you look at the game, you can look at the game. So, is Cam Newton better than Jalen Hurts? No. Could Jalen Hurts win without this roster? Yes. And you know why? Because guess what? Tom Brady wasn't the most talented on the field. He was just always the smartest and understood the game. He didn't have the biggest arm in the game. He didn't have a lot of stuff that packed him home. He can't run. He can't do a lot of stuff in the game. But you know one thing he do? Understands the game. And that's what Jalen Hurts does. His biggest asset is understanding the game and doing what needs to be done to win the game. So yes, he's better quarterback than me because at the end of the day, it's about winning. You can have an all-star group of kids on the field and everything. The Eagles had what they called the dream team, where you had everybody and everything, and it still don't work out. Sometimes you need somebody in there to direct and conduct, and that's what he does. It doesn't matter about the talent. I think if we lost AJ, we still go. So that's one for Cam. Cam, on top of that, he only took his team to the Super Bowl one time. Now, if you want to talk about it, Jalen Hurts has been to the playoffs and to the Super Bowl twice. So when people tell me it's about Saquon Barkley, well, he went to the Super Bowl without Saquon Barkley. And where was Saquon Barkley? He was at home, getting put home. You know what I mean? So you can't tell me that Saquon had the greatest year because it was all Saquon. Saquon had the greatest year because of who? Jalen Hurts in the offensive line, because it was another threat that they had to turn. That's why he had that. That's why Saquon Barkley had the biggest career season of his life. It's not only because it was Saquon. Saquon is good, but it was also because of what Jalen Hurts can do and what you can do. So it didn't matter. Jalen Hurts called those run plays. He audibled into those run plays after reading the defense. Hey, if they're going to stack the box, I'm going to throw it. If they're going to protect over the top, I'm going to run it. That was Jalen Hurts conducting. That was Jalen Hurts understanding the game. So, yes, he's better than Cam Newton. Cam Newton ain't going to fall on the fumble in the biggest game of his life. So, miss me with Cam Newton is better. On top of that, can Jalen Hurts get it done without that? Can Eagles get it done without Jalen Hurts? Because every time Jalen Hurts go out, they lose. To have an all-star roster, like you say, they don't look as crisp as they do without Jalen Hurts. So with all that talent, that don't mean you can just put any quarterback back there. So it got to be something of him that's back there doing it. He understands the game. And to me, the most important thing of a quarterback is to understand the game, know what you're seeing out there, and make the right decisions for your team to win. All these quarterbacks are stuck on how far you can pass and how many yards you can pass, and that's why all these quarterbacks don't make it out. And go to the bowl is because they're so worried about producing with their stats, with their skills, and trying to carry a team where Jalen Hurts understands, like, yo, it don't have to be me. It don't have to just be me. Tom Brady the same way. Like, look, we're going to win no matter what, whether it's handing the ball off to whoever, whatever wide receiver is there. Understanding how the defense is and how they set up is why every receiver looks good with Tom Brady. And when they leave Tom Brady, he looks bad. So, yes, Jalen Hurts has a good team. And as far as that goes, I can't deny it. I can't say it doesn't help. It does help. But to say that he couldn't do it on another team, I think is bogus, because I think as long as they run the system forward that works best for Jalen Hurts, they would do that. And I think they would have did it in Carolina. The problem is Jalen Hurts is showing you that, and a lot of this running quarterback nowadays is showing you that you have to play to your quarterback skills. A lot of the times back in the day, the coordinators wanted the quarterback to adjust to what the coordinator done instead of doing what was best for what the quarterback can do. And I think as we've come along, as we transitioned in football and seen the rise of the black quarterbacks, most of these coordinators are adjusting to what the quarterback can do instead of just making my system. That's why you see Patrick Mahomes in an unconventional way, and you see Andy Reid doing a lot of things he wasn't used to, because he's doing what Patrick Mahomes can do best, and that's on the fly and do a lot of things that he can do. So, and the final part of the Super Bowl and the defense. This is the defense that was supposed to show up in the first one. This is the type of defense that was supposed to put just get all the sacks and cause Patrick Mahomes to be frustrated and running out the pocket. This defense ain't do nothing different. It didn't do anything special outside of what the first defense should have done. But because the field was slippery, because we wasn't the edge rushers that we were, and we didn't get the dominant pass rush up front, Jalen Hurts has outplayed Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback, in the Super Bowl 2 times. It wasn't nothing different in the second quarterback. He did enough to win the first Super Bowl. He did enough to win the second Super Bowl. The only difference is the defense came and shut them down, which it was supposed to do in the first one. So, yeah, I could say all them games, and even in the year after the Super Bowl, in between, all them games won was because Jalen Hurts was balling. He put the team on his back and got them to win. They was 10 wins, and then they fell apart because eventually, as I was saying that whole time, the offensive coordinator didn't know what he was doing. He had no game flow. He was just calling plays out there, and they didn't respect him anyway. So, no, I don't think you could plug anybody into this. I think you have to have the mentality of a good team, and I think A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are good, and I think Saquon benefited from Jalen Hurts as much as Jalen Hurts benefited from Saquon.
Okay. That was a real spill, American.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you got to keep it real. Like, everybody was like, oh, it was no. Jalen Hurts did the same thing in this Super Bowl as he did the last Super Bowl.
Bro,
Sanders.
Bro, I'm going to tell you like this. Only time you ever going to spill like that, typically, is either going to be about the Eagles or it's going to be about Drake. I'm telling you, like, them two topics right there, they touch Mark. Mark get in and she said, hold on, motherfucker, let me tell you something. I feel you, though, bro. Let me say this, though. For any pushback from what you said, I'm going to say this. Especially when you spoke of, Jalen Hurts' talent for audible at the right time and calling plays at the line of scrimmage. In Cam's argument, that's game managing, understanding the nuances of football and in particular situations what you need to do, whether it's an audible or whether it's an opportunity for a go route. That's managing the game. And Cam's argument that I see his point. Now, on the other hand, I do have a question for you. So you're saying to me, and obviously it'll be your opinion because we won't know. Well, actually, we got enough information, but I do want to hear this answer from you. You think the Eagles can win the Super Bowl without Saquon Barkley?
Yes, they should have won the Super. Should have won the Super Bowl without Saquon Barkley.
That's my point.
Yes,
they didn't.
Saquon Barkley wasn't.
They didn't.
But it wasn't because of Saquon Barkley won the Super Bowl.
Well, that was the question.
All right, did they? The first Super Bowl they went to,
they lost.
How many points? They put up more
What you mean?
points without
I mean,
Saquon Barkley.
I mean, what's the question? What's your question?
The first Super Bowl that they lost,
They had like
Jalen Hurts,
30 something points.
They had 38 points. They put up more points without Saquon Barkley.
They put up 40 in the Super Bowl. 40-22
All right, well,
was the final
40.
score.
They put up more points without Saquon Barkley.
That's less, bro. They put up 38 against the Chiefs the first
No,
time.
they put up more points on the first Super Bowl.
You might want to check the score, bro.
They put up more points in the first Super Bowl.
The first Super Bowl, so what was the score you thought?
They put up like 42 or something like that.
No.
And
30. They was like 36, 37.
No.
Do you know what the final score was?
It was like 40. It was like 45 to 42 or some shit.
I'll say this. That final score really doesn't matter, but the question is
They put up
Jalen-
35. I'm sorry.
yeah, is Jalen Hurts a playmaker or a game manager? Simple
He's
question.
a playmaker.
Okay. So will he be the reason they win or lose a game?
Yes.
Well, this is an argument because Jalen Hurts didn't play well last year during the season. It was Saquon Barkley who carried the Eagles for 3/4 of the season. Clearly,
That's not true.
bro, that's
He had the best season. Yes.
No,
he, had
that ain't got-
he had the best season
that
of his
ain't got
career.
nothing to do with what I'm saying. If you look at, here's my point, and you like to Google, look up Jalen Hurts' numbers.
His numbers ain't gonna be there. Of course, because they had him running.
So what I'm saying to you is that establishes the point. He carried them. The man threw for 322 yards. Jalen Hurts. That is the lowest total passing yards that he's ever had since he became a starter. And he's been a starter how many years? This is his 4th year being a starter.
Right, because he's not one of those guys that need to shine.
So here's
he
the
does
point.
what he has to do to win.
Here's the point, and this is in Cam defense. And it's clearly to see if you go by the stats and numbers and your visual during the season. If you watch the NFL at any time and watch the Eagles, Saquon Barkley was winning those games.
Absolutely
Clearly
not.
The numbers ain't gonna lie.
The numbers are the numbers. Yes, the number is a number, but he benefited from the Jalen Hurts. He benefited from the option of the run option. He benefited from all that.
This is what he benefited
Okay, before you go on,
Uh-huh.
has Saquon Barkley ever had a season like this?
from. No. So let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Go ahead, tell me
What
why.
the Eagles have and what the Giants never had was a top 3 offensive line in the NFL. The only offensive line that's arguably better than the Eagles is the Detroit Lions. Facts. And you know that because I heard you say that. So when saying that, Saquon never had that opportunity. So when saying this, the year he had is because of Saquon's talent and that offensive line. That has nothing to do with Jalen Hurts. Hold on. It has absolutely nothing to do with Jalen Hurts. And I'll say this because here's another argument. Saquon Barkley did not have to run in 8-man boxes because of the talent of the 2 wide receivers. Meaning that if you understand football, the nuances and the details of football and scheme dramatics, that means the defense has to play either cover 2 or cover 3. Because you can't go single high safety because you can't be
cover 3 is single high safety.
Hold on. No, it's that's a zone. That's a zone because that's safety in the middle and these 2 corners, you know what they doing?
That's cover 3.
Right, that's my point.
I just said
You
a single high is cover 3.
Not so much because they all got a territory in the field. That's why it's cover 3. So what I'm saying, single high is you running sideline to sideline by yourself. You're not doing that in cover 3.
No,
Your
that's
corners
zero.
your corners is protecting the sidelines. They're running with the receivers. This guy right here is supporting either side in cover 3.
Yeah, that's what a single high safety.
That's not single high safety. Single high safety, bro, you bump and run. Eagles are not bump and run. Single high safety, you're a bump and run. You're fine.
Cover you can run a man under on bump and run.
ain't-
2 high safety.
Bro, if
bump
you're-
and run is just what you want to call it. You can
That's
run a bump and
what
run on a zero blitz. You can run a bump and run on a single high. You can run a bump and run on a cover 2.
Yes, but no, you can't.
Yes, you can.
No,
If you
can't. Bro, stop. That is not correct. And if
That is correct.
And you know football, bump and run mean you're trailing, you're following, you're 1-on-1. So when you say cover 2, only thing you covering is the flat. That's cover 2.
You can cover more than the flat.
No, you can't. That's why
Yeah,
you-
a hard cover 2
Come
is
on,
covering
Mark.
the flat,
Come
or you
on.
can go to a soft cover 2.
Cover 2 is cover 2. Mark, stop.
Oh my God, you got a cloud zone, and you got a flat zone in the cover 2.
Bro, we talking about cover 2. Your corners are patroling the line of scrimmage for flat passes.
No, they're not. Not all the
Slants.
time.
Slants. Yes, they.
For slants, you can do that too, or they can play for the outside.
Bar, that's you. Whoa, bro, you play video games and all that. I don't even play that, but I understand football cover 2.
Yeah, I was a middle linebacker.
That ain't got. Well, your role is to cover what?
But
The
I
middle
called
of the
the
field.
defense. I
You're just
understand.
dropping. That's
Okay.
all you doing.
Okay.
That's all you doing. If you play middle linebacker cover 2.
No, wait, in the
Why
cover
think
2.
Devin
Yeah.
White so your corners, if you know that means if you're just dropping in the cover 2, that means you're covering the seams on either side, safety on your tight end side.
Right.
So,
but if you send a dog blitz,
no.
you
We
got-
ain't talking about no blitzing. We're talking about basic cover 2. So what
Well,
is
you're just talking about basic cover 2. But cover 2 encompasses all of that. It depends on the play call that you call. You can say a hard cover 2. You can say a soft cover 2 where you cover the 10 yards and down.
All right, we gonna come off that because we got a difference of opinion what a cover 2 is.
But anyway, far as the Saquon box, you say he didn't see 8-man fronts?
He didn't. No, because you cannot lead them 2 receivers one-on-one on the outside.
He's seen 8-man fronts.
Okay, I pitch like this. Yeah, on 4th down, 3rd and 2. 3rd and 2, 4th and 1, he's seen 8-man boxes. You cannot go one-on-one with A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith. They're going to murder y'all. Facts. I don't care who your defense is. I don't know I don't care who your cornerbacks is. You can't play bump and run against them unless your cornerback is a dog. Your corner got to be that top guy. Like a Trayvon Diggs. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I mean, I understand what you're trying to say, but
you know what I'm saying.
Saquon seeing 8-man fronts. How the Eagles countered it was they did a lot of trap plays. They did a lot of pulling. That's how the Eagles. Yes, I watch this. I watch it every week. The Eagles do a lot of pulling. This is how they get them because when they're in an 8-man front and then when they can pull the guard. They can pull anyone from the center guard to the tackle. That's how athletic this line is. So when they see 8-man fronts, that's why they were always able to get long runs because they were 8-man fronts. And that's how he was able to break them because there was no safety over the top to stop him.
So let me ask you
That's
this.
how he had so many long runs because they were all down, got blocked, and he broke it out because it wasn't no high safety or all that.
So let me say this then. What that got to do with Jalen Hurts?
You brought it up.
No, listen what I'm saying. Here's my point. If all that maneuver in the offensive line got going on and Saquon Barkley never had that kind of talent blocking for him, Jalen Hurts ain't got nothing to do with that play, that situation, or the greatness of Saquon Barkley.
Right.
Or the offensive line. So in saying that, and if you look at Jalen Hurts' numbers at the end of the season, barely over 3,000 yards passing, clearly it shows that Saquon Barkley, who rushed for over 2,000 yards or at 2,000 yards, somewhere right there, he carried that team. And if you go back to the Super Bowl, and you watch NFL films, there's a clip of Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley on the sideline celebrating that Super Bowl victory, and Jalen Hurts saying, "Yo, this is because of you, man." And Saquon Barkley downplaying that, saying, "No, man, we did this together." But Jalen Hurts was the first person to sit there. Hold on. Was the first person to sit there to Saquon Barkley not only congratulate him, but say, "Yo, this is because of you."
Right, that's Jalen Hurts' personality. It's never because of Jalen Hurts. He said that everything. He said that to Miles Sanders.
Jalen Hurts know he got carried last year.
He didn't get carried last year. What he did was what he had to do to win. What's it easier to do, to run the ball or to pass the ball? It's easier to run the ball. So if you get in the runs, you might as well punish him on the runs. And how I know this is because the year he had Miles Sanders had his greatest year. But who else had a year? Jalen Hurts. So when y'all say Jalen Hurts got carried, no, he went to the bowl on Jalen Hurts. He played the best in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl. Who did that? Jalen Hurts. Without Saquon and with Saquon. So to say that, what would have happened?
So, and in response to that, and back to Cam's point, if Saquon Barkley ran for damn near 2,000 yards last year and Jalen Hurts threw for 3,200 yards last year, clearly Jalen Hurts was a game manager.
No, he's not a game manager. That's not game management.
Numbers ain't gonna lie.
And numbers do lie. Numbers lie all the time.
All right, man. I'm just saying I had to ride with Cam on that. That's game managing.
I know because you're a Cowboys fan.
I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm a football fan first. Don't try that. You talking about football? Don't try that.
No, because if you're a football fan first, you'll know that it wasn't.
Bro, your
he wasn't a game.
Bro, your man's a game man.
No, he's not.
It's okay, man.